Hello students, welcome you all to the bridge course of chemistry, and in today's class we are going to deal with the study of organic chemistry. Basically you have learnt in your previous classes only chemistry, but in higher classes this subject chemistry is further classified into physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry. In the present class we are going to study brief introduction part of organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. Originally, the term organic chemistry was referred. It means it was dealing with the chemistry of those compounds which are obtained from plants and animals. Until 1828, it was believed that, it was understood that the organic compounds could not be obtained or could not be formed except by living plants and animals. It reveals that the compounds earlier to 1828, all the organic compounds could not be prepared in the laboratory, and it was only available from the plants as well as those of animals. But later in the 1828, Wöhler, W-H-O-L-E-R, he accidentally found that by heating ammonium cyanate, which is an inorganic compound, on heating it gave urea, which is having the formula NH2C double bond O NH2. This compound is called as what? Urea. And this urea is an organic compound. It was considered as an organic compound. Thus it was later understood that we can prepare organic compounds in the laboratory also. And according to the modern definition, that is the present scenario, organic compounds are the compounds which essentially contain carbon as one of the important constituent within the organic compound. What is that? I want to reveal that. According to the modern definition, that is the present definition, we have to understand that organic compounds are those compounds which are essentially containing a carbon as one of the important constituent. So therefore all the organic compounds contain predominantly carbon in combination with one or more than one type of heteroatom. A heteroatom means other than carbon atom is called as heteroatom, and that heteroatom can be either hydrogen or it can be oxygen or that of sulfur or nitrogen or halogens. Okay, halogens are denoted by the symbol called as X, and these halogens can be either fluorine or chlorine or bromine or iodine. Now let us understand that why the carbon atom has been considered as an important or a very special atom, right? So in our daily life, if you see any of the substances on burning, ultimately there is a formation of ash, and that ash is nothing but the carbon, right? So carbon atom is an very special atom, so we call it as an important atom in our substances of every means, right? And it is so special, and therefore it forms millions of compounds. Okay, and this formation of millions of compounds is because of two reasons. Let us try to understand what are those two reasons. The first reason is that it's a tetravalency. Tetra means 4, valency means the combining capacity of an atom of an element either with its own atom or with a different atom, right? So carbon is having what? 4 valency. Remember, carbon is having what? 4 valency. It means that it can form bonds with the carbon atoms or with other atoms by means of 4 valency, and those valency are with respect to covalent bond. Already we have learned there are many types of different types of bonds, such as ionic bond, metallic bond, and even covalent bond, and even what? A dative bond. But one should remember that in case of organic chemistry, carbon, whenever it forms bonds, it is ultimately none other than what? A covalent bond. That is nothing but sharing up of electron pair. And the second reason is that what? Catenation, right? Now let us try to understand the definition of catenation. The self-linking, very important it is, okay? The self-linking ability or the capacity of the carbon atom with other carbon atoms, okay? I mean to say with other carbon atoms, okay? Not with respect to other hetero atom, okay? The self-linking ability of a carbon atom with other carbon atoms to form a giant molecule is called as a catenation. One has to remember this important definition. You might get 1 mark question. What is meant by catenation? All you have to write is the self-linking ability of carbon atom with other atoms to form a giant molecule is known as catenation, right? And carbon atom can combine, see this, carbon atom can combine with one another to form long chains, or that of what? Rings of different shape and that of what? Sizes. It is not necessary means that always carbon has to combine with other carbon atom in a straight manner. It can form in a straight chain or even a branched chain, or even in case of what? Rings of different shapes and that of what? Sizes. So I have written here a straight chain, branched chain, as well as what? A closed chain. Let us try to understand its representation. If it was a straight chain, then how it can be, right? So single bond C, then followed by single bond here and single bond here, right? So it is nothing but what? A straight chain linkage of what? Carbon atoms, right? So one has to understand that if this is the carbon atom, so let me write in blue ink so that you are able to see this, okay? And all you have to see that it's tetravalency. I hope you're understanding. So this is the first valency, this is the second valency, this is the third valency, and this is the fourth valency. Similarly, if you see the second carbon atom, I can write here this as what? The second carbon atom, and try to understand now the valency. So this will be its first valency, this is the second valency, and this is the third valency, and this will be now the fourth valency, right? So what I want to say that this bond which has been linked between this carbon atom and this carbon atom is called as what? A covalent bond. That is nothing but sharing up of electron pair, right? Is it clear, students? So one should remember that carbon can form a straight chain, and meanwhile one has to remember that the linkage between carbon atoms is always meant by what? A tetravalency, right? Now let us try to understand the branched chain. If it is having a branch, then what we can write here? We can see that carbon, then followed by a single bond carbon here, right? And I'll be writing here one more carbon atom. This is having one branch here, right? Similarly, you can write a branch here also. That does not affect any representation. So single bond C, again a bond here, then followed by C, then followed by what? A single bond, right? So we can see that this carbon, right, this carbon is linked with what? This carbon atom, right? It means that there is a branch at this carbon atom, right? Earlier, if I want to write a straight chain, so let me write it as this is the first carbon atom, and this would be the second one, this is the third one, and this will be what? The fourth one. In fact, if I include this, this is nothing but what? A straight chain. But here we can see that there is a branching possible at this part. So therefore we can say that carbon can also be present in what? A branched chain form also. Now coming to the third one, that is with respect to closed chain. closed chain means it is completely in the form of what a ring type of representation. So basically let me take what a 3 cyclic carbon compound. So this is the first carbon, this is the second carbon, and this will be the third carbon, which are linked with each other to form a closed cyclic ring structure, right? And already I have told you that valency of carbon atom is 4, so therefore this is having one linkage here, this carbon, right? So other linkages are nothing but here and here, right? And similarly this carbon, if you see the second carbon, which I am going to represent with the blue ink here, this is the carbon atom, the one is present here and the second one is present here, and the remaining third, and this is the fourth valency. Similarly, if I make use of what the third carbon, which I'm going to represent with yellow ink here, right? So this will be its first valency, and this will be its second valency, and the remaining 2 valency will be here. Is it clear, students? So this is an example of a 3 carbon cyclic structure. Now let us make into consideration of another example of a 4 carbon. If I write 4 carbon, then that would have become as 1, 2, and this is 3, and this is the fourth carbon atom. All are linked with water by means of single bond, and the remaining we can represent in terms of the third valency and fourth valency. For this carbon also third and fourth valency. Similarly it will be the same with respect to the remaining carbon atoms, right? So what I want to make you understand here is that the first one, okay, this I call it as what, the number 1, which is called as what, cyclopropane. It is a cyclic compound and it is a 3 carbon compound, and the name is called as what, propane. In fact, we'll try to understand how that word prop and ane has come in the incoming classes, right? Similarly, if I take the second example, this is called as what, first thing is that we should remember it is a cyclic compound, so therefore I want to mention the term called as a cyclo, then followed by 4 carbon atoms, so therefore that is called as what, bute, and since it is linked by means of single bond, it is called as what, butane, so therefore the second compound is called cyclobutane, right? Let us try to represent another example, that is the third example, where I will take into consideration of 6 carbon atoms, right? So if I make use of what 6 carbon atoms, then what I can write here is that this is the first carbon atom, the second carbon atom, the third carbon atom, fourth carbon atom, the fifth carbon atom, and the last one is what, the sixth carbon atom. And all I have to do is just write the tetravalency of the carbon atom. So if I write here 2 linkages, then this carbon becomes tetravalent. So see this is a carbon, this is the first valency, second valency, third valency, and this would be its fourth valency, right? Similarly, all I can do is that write the remaining valency for all those carbon atoms, so that this compound is now called as what I have told, that it is a cyclic compound. So all we have to write it is what, the term called as cyclo, then followed by the 6 carbon atom, so therefore it is called as cyclohexane. Now the last one is chains or rings containing what, other elements, right? It is not a necessary condition that the carbon compound should always be containing carbon only, okay? So let me write one of the best linkages, that is called as ether linkage. So this is the carbon atom which is having its tetravalency here, and it is linked with oxygen atom here, that I will write it as O, then followed by what, another carbon atom. So therefore one can understand that oxygen is a divalent, okay? So oxygen is what, divalent. Divalent means what, it is having what, 2 linkages, so that is one linkage and this is the another linkages, right? So when a carbon atom is linked with what, another carbon atom through oxygen atom, then this compound is called as ether, okay? Don't worry about the names and all, because in the coming classes we are going in a detail, right? So all I wanted to make you know that it is not a necessary condition that carbon atoms should form chains or rings only by means of carbon atom. It can be always be formed with hetero atoms such as oxygen or nitrogen or even water, sulfur also. Is it clear? Another example, let us try to understand, that is with respect to nitrogen here. So therefore I can write here carbon, and here also I can write it as by means of another carbon. These 2 carbon atoms are further linked with another carbon atom here, right? So therefore I can write in the representation with respect to this, right? And we can write here another linkage and then followed by what, a nitrogen atom here, right? Is it clear, students? Now the next part we have to concentrate on the term called as what? Hydrocarbons. Okay, the name itself indicates what? That is compounds containing hydrogen and carbon are called as what? Hydrocarbons, right? But these hydrocarbons are further classified. Let us try to understand their classification. Initially these are broadly classified into two types. That is, the first one is acyclic, or it is also called as aliphatic hydrocarbons, right? Now see the term acyclic, it means these are not cyclic, these are open chain compounds. Remember students, acyclic compounds are called as open chain compounds. It means these are not closed, right? So on this basis we can further classify them as another type, that is called as cyclic hydrocarbons. It means these are called as closed chain compounds, that is cyclic hydrocarbons. Now what is the term called as aliphatic? Now this is very important term, aliphatic, and the other term is what? Aromatic, right? Aliphatic means if you burn any of the carbon atom any substance, if it is not giving any black soot, then those compounds are called as what? Aliphatic hydrocarbons, right? And what is the difference between that of aromatic? Aromatic means it is going to give a black soot. For example, you have seen the burning of camphor in your home, right? So whenever camphor is burnt, it produces a black soot. So therefore any substance on burning, if at all it gives a black soot, then that compound is called as what? Aromatic compound. Concept is clear, students? Aliphatic compounds which does not give any black soot, but whereas aromatic compounds will give black soot. Okay, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ aromatic compounds ಅನ್ನು ಬರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕಾಡ್ಗಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, right? So therefore I call it as what? Black soot, right? That is the important difference between aliphatic and that of what? Aromatic. Further, these aliphatic hydrocarbons, that is open chain compounds, are further classified into three types, right? The first one is that is nothing but called as alkane. See that term here, A-N-E, okay, alkane. It means these are called as single bonded compounds. Alkane, A-N-E, okay, that is single bonded carbon-carbon compounds. The second one is alkene. These are the compounds in which the carbon is linked with another carbon by means of double bond. I will write here a double bond. Here it was single bond, right? Similarly, alkynes. Alkynes means Y-E-N-E. We have to concentrate on the term called as Y-E-N-E. It means these are the hydrocarbons in which the carbon atoms are linked by means of triple bond. Okay, so we have to remember that whenever the carbon atom is linked by means of single bond, it is simply called as saturated compound. Okay, and if it is linked by means of double or what? Triple bond, then it is called as unsaturated compound. Is it clear, students? Now let us move towards what are the cyclic hydrocarbons, right? In case of cyclic hydrocarbons, these cyclic hydrocarbons are further classified into alicyclic hydrocarbon and that of aromatic hydrocarbon. Now let us try to understand what is the actual meaning of alicyclic hydrocarbon, right? But we have to see that this alicyclic is coming from what? A cyclic here, right? It means that these are cyclic compounds. So let me write it as a simple carbon, which is what? A cyclic itself only. A 3 carbon compound is a cyclic, okay, and that valency of carbon atom is 4, so therefore I will write the 4 valencies on this carbon atom. It is a cyclic compound, but it is not aromatic. It means this compound on heating will not give a black sooty flame. That we have to remember, right? So the major difference between alicyclic and that of aromatic is that aromatic hydrocarbons, on burning it will be giving a black soot, but whereas alicyclic hydrocarbons are cyclic compounds. Remember the term, okay, that is these are also cyclic only, but the major difference is that it is not going to burn with a sooty flame. Is it clear, students? So here a brief description of acyclic, right, or simply called as aliphatic hydrocarbons. These are the organic compounds that are containing hydrogen and carbon atoms that are usually linked together through means of straight chain, and these are classified into two types, okay, that is, one is saturated hydrocarbon, and the examples are alkanes, and unsaturated hydrocarbons, and the examples are that of alkenes and what, alkynes, okay. So here I have mentioned by means of a straight chain here, that is basically they are maintaining of what, a straight chain only, but we are having certain examples in which the alkanes or that of alkenes or even that of alkynes are also present in what, branched as well as what, cyclic compounds also. Now let us have the studies with respect to alkanes, okay. So alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons, and they have the general formula, that is CnH2n plus 2. Remember, students, very important, how to write that general formula, CnH2n plus 2. Is it clear? So where n is the number of carbon atoms, right? So the first example, there are three columns here. The first column is number of carbon atoms, second column is the name of that alkane, the third column is with respect to the molecular formula, and the last one is with respect to its structural formula, right? Now if here in this example, if n is equal to 1, so therefore I can write it as C1, right? And here H again 2, and n I said already it is nothing but 1, then followed by plus 2. So therefore what we can write it, C as it is, then followed by 2 into 1, that is 2, plus 2, altogether it is nothing but 4. So if n is equal to 1, we are having the formula CH4. So therefore what I can write in the first column is number of carbon atoms as 1. And in IUPAC terminology, this is very important, IUPAC terminology, International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. What is that IUPAC nomenclature? International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. There are certain rules meant to study what, organic chemistry, and based upon these rules we have to learn that wherever there is only one carbon atom, then the root word for this, root word means what, the basic terminology for this carbon atom is called as meth. That we have to remember, meth, M-E-T-H, meth, right? And H, okay, meth. And we should understand that the alkanes are saturated, so therefore they are ending terminology is nothing but ANE. So therefore I have to write here ANE. Is it clear? And the molecular formula already we have learnt, that is nothing but what, CH4, right? And the structural formula, that also becomes the same, that is what, CH4. Is it clear, students? I hope you are understanding. So let us have the second example so that it will be what, very easy for you people to understand. Now if the number of carbon atoms are 2, then we are having the root word as ETH, E-T-H, then followed by A-N-E, right? And the molecular formula becomes C2H6. All you have to do is just write that formula, CnH2n plus 2, okay? and here n is what, 2, so therefore I can have to write here C2 then followed by 2, and we know that n is 2, so I'll write here into 2 plus 2, and therefore we are having our formula, molecular formula, that is a C2 then followed by H6. Is it clear? So the structural formula now I can write it in terms of CH3 single bond CH3. Remember, there is a difference between a molecular formula and structural formula. Molecular formula means I will write the total number of elements. So there is a carbon and there is what, hydrogen. Okay, though these are the two elements here, and the total number, that is C2 and H6. This becomes molecular formula. But the molecular formula is different from structural formula. In case of structural formula, I have to write in terms of what, CH3 then followed by what, CH3. Is it clear, students? Now let me write with the number of carbon atoms as 3. If it is 3, then the root word is called as prop, P-R-O-P, then followed by A-N-E, and the molecular formula becomes C3 then followed by H8, and the structural formula could be written as CH3 then followed by CH2 then followed by CH3. And similarly, if the number of carbon atoms are 4, then the root word is called as but, B-U-T, then followed by A-N-E, and the molecular formula is C4H10, and the structural formula is CH3 then followed by CH2 then followed by CH2 and then followed by CH3. If the number of carbon atoms is 5, then I can write the root word as pent, P-E-N-T, then followed by A-N-E. Molecular formula becomes C5H12, and the structural formula is CH3, then followed by CH2, and again CH2, again here CH2, and then followed by CH3. If the number of carbon atoms is 6, then the root word is called as hex, H-E-X-A-N-E, then it becomes C6 then followed by H14, and here I can write it as CH3 and then followed by CH2. Now here the total number of carbon atoms are 6. Is it clear? So what I can write here is that I can cut short the method of representation of the structural formula. So all I can write it as CH2 how many times? 4 times, then followed by CH3. This is also the right method, students. Okay, so here what I've done, so this is the first carbon atom, and here CH2 how many are here? Totally 4 are here, then remaining is what here. So altogether there are 6 carbon atoms. So the next one is what, the 7. If the number of carbon atoms are 7, then the root word is nothing but called as hept, H-E-P-T. Okay, and the compound, that is what, saturated, so therefore it has to end with A-N-E, and the molecular formula becomes C7H16, right? And all I can write is CH3 then followed by CH2. Okay, I can write here this as how many times? 5 times, then followed by CH3. Similarly, if the root number of carbon atoms are 8, then it is called as oct, then followed by A-E-N-E, octane, and the molecular formula becomes C8H18, and the structural formula becomes CH3 then followed by CH2, and this is 6 times then followed by CH3, right? And if it is number of carbon atoms are 9, then the root word is non, N-O-N, then followed by A-N-E, and the molecular formula C9 and H20, and the structural formula CH3 then followed by CH2, and this will be how many times? 7 times, then followed by CH3, and the last one that we have to see, that is the number of carbon atoms. If at all if there are 10, then the root word is called as the decane, D-E-C-A-N-E, and the molecular formula becomes C10H22, and the structural formula CH3, then followed by CH2, and this will be 8 times then followed by CH3. Is it clear, students? Now in this page you can see the total number of carbon atoms, the name of that alkane, molecular formula, and the structural formula. Now we are going to study another subtopic that is called as a homologous series. Okay, so homologous series, a very simple definition: each successive member of the series. Okay, this series can be alkane or alkene or alkyne. Right now we are going to study with respect to alkane, right? So therefore we call it as a series or that of what, a group, okay, which is going to differ from the previous member by CH2 group. This is called as homologous series. I have written some examples here. So first one is methane, second one is ethane, and the third one is propane, right? So I have to compare the two successive, okay, that is very important. Here I am mentioning the term called as what, successive means one after the other. So let me take these two examples, that is methane and ethane. If you see, the difference between methane and ethane is that the two members are differing by means of what, CH2 group, okay. So therefore these are called as the 1 and 2, that is methane and ethane are called as what, a homologous series, okay. Similarly, what I can make use of the other is that I'll take into consideration of ethane and propane. These two members are also differing from each other by means of what, CH2 group. So again these two members, which are those ethane and propane, are again called as what, homologous series. Concept is clear, students? The very simple concept is that we have to consider successive members, not in a different manner, okay. So if I write this as 1 and this as 2 and this as 3, I have to consider successive, that is one after the other. 1 and 2 I have to take, or I can take that of what, 2 and 3, right? Now we are going to study unsaturated hydrocarbon. Already we have learned that unsaturated means carbon compounds containing what, a double or a triple bond are called as unsaturated compounds, right? So therefore under this we are having the first one, that is alkene. Alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons containing one double bond between the two adjacent carbon atoms, and these are having the general formula represented by CnH2n. So alkenes, okay, so basically we know the formula, general formula CnH2n, right? And here I have told you that there is a presence of what, two bond, that is a double bond, okay. So when there is a presence of double bond, we should make a note that there are two carbon atoms between these bonds, right? So therefore initially the N for this alkene starts from 2, right? So therefore if I write here C2 and then 2 into 2, so therefore the first member is C2 then followed by H4, right? So here I can write number of carbon atoms is 2 and the name of the alkene is root word. How many carbon atoms are there? 2 are there. So therefore what we have to write, ETH, and the ending word of this compound, since it is a double bond, that is one is a sigma bond and other one is a pi bond, okay. We are going to learn this in chemical bonding, don't worry about that, right? So the ending terminology is ENE, ethene, right? And the molecular formula becomes C2 then followed by H4, and the structural formula becomes CH2 double bond then followed by CH2, right? And the number of carbon atoms, if it is 3, then the name of the alkene is nothing but called as prop then followed by ENE, right? And the molecular formula becomes C3 then followed by H6, and the structural formula becomes CH2, then followed by double bond CH, then followed by a single bond CH3, right? Is it clear, students? And now if I write it as the number of carbon atoms are 4, then the root word is called as but, then followed by 1, then followed by ene, right? So why this becomes, let us try to understand. So if but means what, there are 4 carbon atoms, okay? So let me write it as 1, 2, then followed by 3, and then followed by 4 carbon atoms. Since it is ene means what, the carbon linkage is linked by double bond. So if the double bond is present between these two, then it is called as but-1-ene, right? So similarly, what I can write another example by taking 4 carbon atoms, and I can write a double bond between these 2 carbon atoms. So these two, the compound number, so this is the compound number 1, right, and this is the compound number 2. Now both are not same. Why these are not same? Because here the double bond is present between this carbon and this carbon, and here the double bond is present between this carbon and this carbon. So therefore IUPAC has recommended to write the numbering system. Numbering system means we have to write the numbers in such a manner such that the functional group, that is what the double bond gets, the highest priority. Highest priority means what, rank, that is what, rank 1 or rank 2. Like that we have to do the numbering. So therefore here I will write it as 1, this has 2, this has 3, and this has 4 carbon atoms. So therefore how many carbon atoms? 4 carbon, second carbon, third carbon, and fourth carbon. So the root word is called as what, but. Where is the double bond? The double bond is starting from first carbon atom and ending at second carbon. So therefore I call it as but-1, and then followed by what, ene, right? But this is also a 4 carbon compound only, that is containing double bond, but this is but-2-ene, right? Both are having the same molecular formula, and that molecular formula is C4H8. Is it clear? And the structural formula for but-1-ene, what I have to write? I have to write here CH2 double bond CH, then followed by what, CH, then CH2, then followed by CH3. So this is the structural formula for but-1-ene, and here the name of the alkene is but-1-ene. If I write here but-2-ene, then in this part I have to write here double bond. Is it clear, students? So the next example is that if there are 5 carbon atoms, then I can write it as what, pent, then followed by 1, then followed by ene, and the molecular formula becomes C5, then followed by H10, and the structural formula I have said it as pent-1-ene. So therefore the double bond is present at first carbon atom, CH, then followed by CH2, then followed by CH2, and then followed by water CH3. Similarly, you have to write for the number of carbon atom, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, and that of water 10. If it is a 6, then it is called as 1 hexene or what, hex-1-ene. Similarly, if the number of carbon atoms are 7, then it is called as hept-1-ene. If it is 8, oct-1-ene. If it is 9, non-1-ene, and if it is 10, dec-1-ene. You have to practice it, students, right? So the next is with respect to alkynes. Okay, these are also the unsaturated hydrocarbons and are containing one, that is what, a triple bond between the 2 adjacent carbon atoms, right? And the general formula is CnH2n minus 2. That we have to remember, students, the general formula of alkane, alkyne, and that of what, alkynes. So again here also there are 4 columns. First column is number of carbon atom, second one is the name of the alkyne, third one is with respect to molecular formula, and the fourth one is with respect to structural formula. So for the formula with respect to what, alkynes, we are having CnH2n minus 2, right? and here I have said that alkanes are having a triple bond between two carbon atoms. So here I'll write one carbon, here I'll write another carbon atom, right? And we know that the valency of carbon atom is 4, so therefore this is first one, second one and third one. Both the carbon atoms are having a 3 bond. The remaining bond is here, that is with respect to one hydrogen and with respect to another hydrogen. So therefore each carbon is having what, 4 valency. Okay, so this is first valency, second, third and fourth. Similarly here 1, and this becomes second, third and what, fourth, right? So if n is equal to 1, so I'll write here C1, then followed by H2 into what, 1, and then followed by what, -2. So therefore here I can write it as I am sorry, so here what happens is the number of carbon atoms are 2 here initially, right? Because the compound itself is what, between 2 carbon atoms. So therefore I would write here 2, right? So what I can write is, I can write here C2, then followed by 2 into 2, right? And then followed by -2. So therefore this becomes C2, and here it becomes 4 minus 2, and our compound formula becomes C2, then followed by what, H2, right? So I can write in the first column, if the number of carbon atoms are 2, right, the name of the alkyne. So here how many carbon atoms are there? 2 are there. So therefore this becomes ETH, ETH, then followed by YNE. Then the molecular formula, that is what, C2, then followed by H2, and the structural formula is HC triple bond, then followed by C, right? Then followed by water, a hydrogen atom. All you can see that here there is a triple bond. You can see that this is the first bond, this is second bond, and this is the third bond. Okay, so these are triple bonded hydrocarbons. And now we are having another example. If the number of carbon atoms are 3, then I have told you the root word becomes what, a prop, then followed by YNE. And the molecular formula is C3, then followed by H4, and the structural formula becomes HC triple bond C, 2 carbon is over, and the remaining carbon atom is CH3. Similarly, if there are 4 carbon atoms, then we can write it as but, BUT, then followed by 1 YNE. Why I have written 1? That we have to understand. Since there are 4 carbon atoms, first carbon, second carbon, third carbon and fourth carbon. So here if I write the triple bond, then I can write this as 1, this as 2, this as 3 and this as 4. 4 carbon atoms. Triple bond is present between first carbon atom and second carbon, so therefore it is called as but 1 YNE. This I call it as number 1. And if I write it in terms of another manner, the 4 carbon are present here and the triple bond is present between second and third. So if I write here 1, 2, 3 and 4, this is present between second carbon atom and third carbon atom, right? So therefore this compound is called as but 2YNE. okay, in fact both are having this is the second compound. Okay, both are having the same molecular formula, but structural formula will be what, different. For that reason we have to write here either but 1YNE or but 2YNE. so the molecular formula is C4 and H6. is it clear? And the structural formula I'll write here HC, then followed by triple bond C, single bond CH2, and then followed by CH3. And if the number of carbon atoms are 5, then the root word is called as what, pent 1 YNE, and the molecular formula becomes C5, then followed by H8. And the structural formula is CH triple bond C, then followed by CH2, then followed by CH2, and again I can write here CH3. So this is the structural formula of pent 1YNE. Now students, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to write with respect to number of carbon atoms 6, 7, 8, 9 and that of water 10. Is it clear? And the next part is a structural representation of a organic compound, right? Now since I am going to write on the board, so therefore it is called as two-dimensional. So therefore in a two-dimensional geometry, carbon compound structures are represented in three ways. Now the first one is complete structural formula representation. Okay, so in this the different atoms are shown as means of attachment of bonds, either by single bond or by double bond or by triple bond. Let us write some examples here. So I'll write example as 1. I will take as ethane, ETHANE, right? Root word is what? It means it is 2 carbon, and the suffix, that is the word that is coming after the root word, is called as a suffix. So therefore I can write the formula, that is CH, again here H and H, and this is linked with another carbon by means of hydrogen and hydrogen and hydrogen. Okay, so this is called as complete structural formula. And if I take the second example as number 2, and if I write here it as ethene, ETHENE, so it is an unsaturated compound. Root word is it means there is 2 carbon atoms, so therefore I'll write a 2 carbon atom, and the suffix is ENE, it means it is a double bond, right? So therefore between these 2 carbon atoms I have to write a double bond, and the remaining is nothing but I have to write what the number of hydrogen and compensate its tetravalency. So this is called as ethene. And the third example, if I take it as prop, PROP, then followed by YNE. So root word prop means 3 carbon, and the suffix ending word is YNE, it means it is a triple bonded compound. So therefore 3 carbon, so I'll write it as 1, 2 and 3, and the triple bond, YNE means water, triple bond, so therefore I'll write here triple bond between first and second, and the remaining hydrogens are to be returned in this manner. So all you have to remember, you have to write by means of water linkages, whether there is a single bond or whether there is a double bond or whether there is a triple bond. So this type of representation of organic compound is called complete structural formula representation. So the second one is a condensed structural formula representation. In this type of representation, the bonds are not shown between the atoms, but the identical groups attached to an atom are represented by a superscript, right? So let us take an example here. So example, I'll take what? Ethane, right? ETHANE. So I'm not going to write it complete elaboration. So all I have to do is what? The 2 eth means how many carbon? 2 carbon. So therefore I'll write here first carbon, and since we know that it is made up of 2 carbon, so all I have to write it as CH3, then followed by water CH3. That's it. Is it clear now? So similarly, if I take it as what? Propane, PROPANE. So root word is 3, so therefore CH3, then followed by CH2, then followed by water CH3. I hope you are understanding, students. So condensed means what? We are not going to represent in earlier form, that is with respect to structural formula, complete structural formula, by writing C, then followed by hydrogen, right? Okay, and again here hydrogen, then followed by C, H and H, again water C, H, and again H and again H. Though this we are not writing here. Why? Because this representation is with respect to what? Earlier, that is what? The complete structural formula, right? And the last one is bond line formula representation. In this type of structural representation, carbon and hydrogen atoms are not shown by dash or that of bonds, other atoms or groups like chlorine, oxygen, etc. will be shown, right? So very simple examples. Let me take the first example as pentane. So I'll take an example of prop, prop 1YNE. So root word prop, that is what 3 carbon. So I'll put one dot here, here one dot, and here one dot, 3 dot. That become 3 carbon atoms, 1YNE. It means I have to just join this and what this, okay? And I have to write here the triple bond between the first and second. That's it. So therefore this becomes what? Prop 1YNE. Is it clear, students? There are many other examples of bond line formula which we are going to learn in the incoming classes. Thank you for watching, and if you feel good, kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.